What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy Kevin turn YouTube shit. Hey man, say man, we are today. Let's turn. Tell you two motherfuckers today. Show you hitting outside. Big crib and the gang show you hitting outside shit, man. Free Palestine, can't go do your thing. Russia your thing. Texas that fuck up. Each day is ready to be a better version of yourself. Never let somebody bring that house like that. Never let somebody tell you who you are, but also put yourself in a position you don't belong. Let's stay humble. Let's get on revolution. On moving. Keep y'all way first. Coming to you the Black Hebrew Israelite as a real Jew. We out you. Alright. Dude. Today, two motherfuckers today. Show you hitting outside. Big crib and the gang show you hitting outside shit, man. Gang. Ooh. Turn up. Bruh. I've been seeing this go all over rap social media, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It's like if they ain't catching one rapper with one team, they catching a rapper with another team. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bruh, a lot of people past is catching up to these people, man. You know what I'm saying? T Grizzly, man, he had a time to where he can just make up that money on, get it right, make up his little industry style, get his shit looking nice and legit. Now look at this, he finna get hit with some allegations about his auntie, that he got her pregnant and he ended up putting a hit against her. Now they saying his auntie is like not really his auntie, you know what I'm saying, just like by marriage, which is understandable, but damn, you know what I'm saying, she was his manager. So all this stuff is coming up. They're trying to say T really put the money on her head and it's going down. So we don't know what's gonna happen. I don't think he got charged with none of this yet. People just talking that it could happen, like a Rico. So let's get into this bitch. Shout out to Caliber. We've been talking about T Grizzly, man. They talking about his pregnant, his aunt or something shit, bro. Hey, this shit getting wild out here, bro. Hey, I guess anybody can get the shit. Hey, Jay said she got hit and took out. I don't fucking know. We finna find out.
T Grizzly was sitting in a car with his aunt when she was shot multiple times. Not him.
And she ain't
not
ugly.
the driver.
It's just like she kind of look like him a little
She
bit.
died instantly. Her name was Jobina Brown, aka JB. She was more than family. She was T's manager, his protector, his plug. Everybody thought it was a hit gone wrong until the shooter, a Chicago affiliate named Wu-Tang 600, got locked up. And now, he's allegedly telling detectives T set the whole thing up. The same nephew she fed, same artist she managed, might have been the reason she died. This is the story of the mysterious murder of T Grizzly's aunt and how the streets are now accusing him of covering the whole thing up. Before T had chains, before he had millions, before the rap game started showing him love, he had JB. She wasn't just his aunt. She was his manager, his investor, the one who handled his business when he was locked up. She took the meetings, picked up the phone, talked to the labels, and got him paid. And when he got out, she stayed right by his side. So for her to die like this, alone, in the backseat of her nephew's car, it didn't sit right with a lot of people.
This morning for the gunman who shot and killed the manager and aunt of Detroit rapper T Grizzly. 41-year-old Jobina Brown was shot in the area of 3 Mile Drive and Mack Avenue on the city's east side Tuesday night. Now, this is an update to a story that we brought you Wednesday morning. TMZ is reporting that Brown was in the back seat of a car when the suspect approached and started shooting. And she was rushed to the hospital where she later died. It is not clear if T Grizzly was the intended target of the attack. The rapper and his driver were not injured.
He tried to explain his side of the story about how it all went down, but the more evidence is coming out, his fans are saying his story doesn't add up.
I'm saying, so I went over there.
For hundreds, if not thousands.
And I was telling her, like, come in the house. And she like, no,
You never know when it's
I'm making her come in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like,
when you think you're doing some positive
certain
shit,
areas, you just can't, you just gotta
you
move.
get hit up.
Right. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about where you at. I can go anywhere I want to. Right.
That's a fact.
I gotta move.
There's also retaliation to where you can go
So if I'm
free.
over, right, can't nothing happen to me. So I'm telling her to come in the house. She like, no,
because JB was kind of like funny acting about dirty houses. Okay. Stuff like that. The house wasn't even dirty, but to her, she just a clean, real clean person. She's like, no, I don't want to go in them people's house. I don't want to sit on their furniture and all that stuff.
Yeah, like that. So you saying she can plaster on their
furniture. It was
furniture.
taking so long to come to the door. You know what I'm saying? And they finally come to the door. As soon as I see her, as soon as I see my auntie, she about to open the door. I hear a whole bunch of shots going off. You know what I'm saying? Behind me, I hear a whole bunch of shots going off. So I get down because I'm thinking they about to come to the side and start, you know what I'm saying, shooting at me, and I ain't got nothing on me at the time. My cousin ran out with a gun. I'm like, perfect. So we ran out on the street. When we ran out, my driver was gone. With no cars out there. I'm like, she was in the. So what was the vehicle? She was in the car. Like she was driving. She was in the car. Okay. She was in the car. T dropped the song "Sadish" just 2 weeks after the shooting, named after her government name. He talked about his pain, loyalty, and getting revenge.
Man, that envy shit so real. You make it out these streets, you saw it wasn't me and still shot. What she do to you? You was just winning. Now I'm crying at your funeral. But every tear I shed another 1,000 on your head, nigga. So I saw your face and think I'm playing, nigga. Every tear I shed another 1,000 on your head.
Even hinted at $1 million bounty for the shooter. But what if that was cap? What if the song was the cover-up? A way to distract the public, to play the grieving nephew role.
You think he had to pick a person who he wanted to get taken out?
Something deeper.
And if he took him out, he moved to the next level type shit.
Let's rewind. Before JB was killed, T had been hanging heavy with 600 affiliates from Chicago, Uka 600, Lord Dirk, and OTF.
That's my motherfucking blood. That's my motherfucking blood. My blood doesn't take his dress off with a headshot. Dead off association, cause he ain't dead.
T was in Chicago a lot, tapping in with the drill side, showing love, linking up for collabs, and getting money together. They were cool, friendly, too friendly to be enemies. Their crew was clicked up so much that Wu-Tang 600's close friend, Uka 600, was even seen in photos as T Grizzly's best man at his wedding.
Damn. Yeah, so after she died, he got married?
Now, one of them is the alleged trigger man, and the motive, that's when it gets dark. There's been rumors for years in Detroit, rumors that T had a secret relationship with his aunt, but she wasn't his blood relative. She was family by marriage.
Since our two have been going everywhere together, he's been going to heaven without me. I don't have to say that.
Word on the street was, after her husband, T's uncle, went to prison, things got weird. Whispers about her and T sleeping together, power struggles, bad contracts, money disappearing, and T allegedly trying to get his masters back for his music, worth millions, which JB owned a percentage. One rumor that JB might have gotten pregnant, and that it wasn't by her husband. Another rumor is that she might have refused to give T his masters back, and then boom, she's gone. All of it vanished the night that she died.
Well, she managed T Grizzly, one of Detroit's most popular rappers, but earlier this week, Jobina Brown was shot and killed on the city's east side.
She was a sweetheart. She was a good person. She was the type of person that would look out for you, do whatever, she could to help you.
He called her JB. She was the manager and aunt of Detroit rapper T Grizzly. She also managed Detroit rapper Sada Baby. Sources say on Tuesday night around 9:30, the 41-year-old was sitting in a Chrysler 300 with two other men here on 3 Mile just off of Mac. Police say as one of the men got out of the car, she was shot and killed.
JB, I love you. I miss you, but I will never forget about you. You were a queen and you were awesome.
Bushman says he's been getting calls and comments on social media from people across the country, those who've gotten to know Brown and some who are fans of T Grizzly.
No suspects, no arrest for 5 years, just a tribute track and silence. But now, that silence might be breaking. Wu-Tang 600 got picked up by the cops and appeared in court. According to sources close to the case and Detroit detectives, he's talking.
Oh yeah,
not
they
just
got
about the shooting,
that big burger Mac meal.
And what he's allegedly saying, he was paid for the hit. And the call allegedly came from T. Police investigation showed that T Grizzly got out of the car right before the shooters walked up and started firing shots. According to court documents, investigators used cell phone towers to track Wu Thing's 600 cell phone at the location of the shooting, showing him waiting there for 2 hours before
What they hit that nigga? What they hit him with? Mac 10 or Mac 11?
Wu was sitting out there for an hour waiting. He had to drop. Knew T Grizzly was gonna be there for some odd reason, but it was a quick stop right before he went to the house.
No matter how y'all feel, T Grizzly did that shit, and this how I know. You still cool with the people suspected of murdering her. You can't explain that. You let these people be your best man.
Oh,
You
shit.
can't explain that. You stop rapping and open the GTA survey got married. Nigga,
He thought nigga was gonna try this shit out.
600 OTF Wu-Tang sat at the scene for 2 hours and opened her car door because he thought it was you.
How would Wu-Tang know that T was coming 2 hours in advance if it was a
No kid
random
like,
stop? Unless it was a possible setup. Authorities are reportedly building a federal case, not just for murder, but for conspiracy, interstate coordination, and murder for hire. If that confession sticks, T's not just facing street justice, he's facing life and possibly even a federal RICO. T tried to distance himself from the streets. He started a GTA server, built a streaming empire, millions in sponsorships, a clean brand, and stayed out of the drama.
My most successful month? This month been very successful.
Yeah, you've been going viral this month.
Yeah, this month been very successful.
T Grizzly out there, wait.
And I ain't even been able to stream. But
Not to be all in your pockets, but like, what's that look like?
it look crazy. Like I can show you like this month so far.
I'm so intrigued by this Twitch.
And it's the 12th.
And Twitch got to start taking care of creators a little better.
So this is because everything been going viral. So
YouTube got to take care of its creators better,
Oh my
bitch.
God. That's 6 figures.
yeah.
Can I say the amount?
Damn.
$115,000 in a month playing video games? But if this case goes federal, none of that matters. It doesn't matter how many Twitch viewers you got. It doesn't matter how many plaques you earned. If the feds believe you lined up your own aunt for a payday in silence, you're done. T responded to the allegations recently while live streaming. He was calm, saying, "Don't believe everything you see on the internet."
I just ain't the nigga that's about to go around trying to clear that shit up because it is what it is. As far as like, you know, I ain't about to be. Certain shit you can't entertain, bro. Especially when it's absolutely nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But you do got a lot of motherfuckers though that go to the internet and think that everything they see on that bitch is facts. It's not a place for facts.
This him before dread.
You can see some shit dead in your face, chat. That's not true. So you think you can't be fooled by the fucking internet?
But if someone lied on your name like that, would you be smirking and shrugging it off? You're not upset? Not defending JB's name? His reaction didn't feel right to a lot of people. And that's why people are watching closely. Because his silence doesn't look strong. It looks suspicious. One minute you're a millionaire streamer, a famous rapper, a businessman. The next minute, your day one aunt is gone. And the streets think you lined her up. This isn't just a rap story. It's a backdoor gone federal. With everything that's coming out, it's starting to look like a cold-blooded family setup. Allegedly, your own aunt, your manager, your lifeline, the woman who helps you build everything, gone. And now, the shooter's pointing the finger back at T. I'm not saying he did it,
Not
but it ain't
enough
looking
noodles
good.
and soup, my
Some
boy.
things just aren't adding up.
All them
The
noodles,
streets are
tuna
talking
fishes,
for a
beans,
reason.
Burritos,
Rest in
nigga.
peace, JB. Detroit.
It wasn't enough for them goofy
Watch your
ass
circle.
niggas, man. They
I would have
quit.
never thought in a million years that T Grizzly may have had something to do with his aunt's murder. And listen, he even said in his own song, Saddish, that they were so close that people thought they had a love life. He even acknowledged it in his own song. And I mean, if true, this situation is absolutely disgusting in multiple ways. They're saying that the feds is getting ready to come get that boy. This story is going crazy all over the internet right now. And T Grizzly didn't do a good job at defending himself when these heinous and disgusting accusations came out. I mean, he better have a good lawyer because the pieces are piecing together in a way that points right back to him. And this is unfortunate. Now, we can't say if this situation is true or not, but man, it ain't looking good. It's not looking good for T Grizzly right now, especially with the fact that he's saying that his aunt JB owned a percentage of his masters, which is millions of dollars worth of music. And so it's looking like, according to police, that this might have been a money play and an attempt to sweep his dirt under the rug. Listen, I'm a fan of T Grizzly's music. Last summer, his album that dropped, I was bumping that the whole summer. So I'm not a hater of T Grizzly at all. I'm very disgusted to hear these rumors. And like I said before, I hope they're not true. But ladies and gentlemen, as our grannies and our aunties used to say back in the day, what's done in the dark is going to come to light. And once again, we keep seeing a recurring pattern of a lot of rappers acting like Al Capone and getting hit with them Al Capone RICO charges. I mean, to think that Lord Durk is going down for a murder for hire, and T Grizzly, who's friends with Lord Durk, may also be going down for murder for hire. I mean, this whole situation is crazy, and it's unthinkable. You get what I'm saying? But listen, I'm going to keep you guys updated on everything that's going on with this case. It's a very diabolical, spooky case, man, and we've never seen anything like this before. Tell me what y'all think in the comments below.
Shout out to Hello Yazine. Let's get into this bitch, man. See what the fuck going on.
Recently, a truly insane rumor circulated about the tragic murder of rapper T Grizzly's aunt and manager, Jobina Brown, and they're putting him in the crosshairs of who made it happen.
Now, there's a bunch of, I think it's misinformation, but there's a bunch of rumors going around where people are saying, like, oh, T Grizzly arranged for this to happen, or T Grizzly is close with people from 600, so he must have made it happen.
And it's easy to understand why a rumor of a rapper killing their own aunt would spread like wildfire. But if certain YouTubers are to be believed, these rumors are not coming from Reddit or Twitter, but from the courtroom. And these rumors are apparently backed up by people very close to the case.
It went from a mere conspiracy to now it's a theory that's being explored in court.
But before jumping into any conclusions, it's important to look at all the information we have available, starting with the news story of a tragic killing that made no sense whatsoever.
Well, she managed T Grizzly, one of Detroit's most popular rappers, but earlier this week, Jobina Brown.
If you need $750,
Jobina Brown was shot and killed on the city's east side.
One of the few certainties about this case is that on August 20, 2019, Jobina Brown, fondly known as JB, was brutally murdered on Detroit's east side.
Well, Glenda, Detroit police tell me that homicide investigators are still working on this case, still trying to figure out what led up to the shooting here on 3 Mile Road just off of Mack. Meanwhile, those who knew Brown say she was kind-hearted and a hard worker. Sources say on Tuesday night around 9:30, the 41-year-old was sitting in a Chrysler 300 with 2 other men here on 3 Mile just off of Mack. Police say as one of the men got out of the car, she was shot and killed.
The man who got out of the car was T Grizzly, and the other man was their cab driver. Jobina was Grizzly's aunt, but also his manager and a very well-respected person in Detroit's music scene. And she wasn't his aunt by blood.
It was like her first time managing, but she grasped the knowledge of how to manage an artist and was running with it, and he's been very successful.
And the news story ended with an urgent plea for any further information.
So how much was
Meanwhile, if you have any information that can help police solve this case, please call Detroit Police Homicide.
So police were presented with a friendly and deeply loved woman suddenly being shot dead on the streets. Who on earth would do this, and why? In September, T Grizzly released a tribute song, which was
so he was trying to hide the fact that they had a baby?
Song, he also provided an answer as to why someone would have killed his aunt, rapping, "Look how they tried to do me, but got JB. Man, that jealousy is so real, man, that hate so deep." So according to T Grizzly, the shooting happened because they were initially trying to kill him. T Grizzly also said that the shooter saw that it wasn't him, but started shooting anyway. He says this in the line, "You saw it wasn't me and still shot. What'd she do to you?" As well as this song, Grizzly also revealed details about the murder in a shocking interview with Big Dog Blast. And this interview would provide answers, but also had more questions about what happened on that fateful day. The interview first broke down the unusual situation where T Grizzly had his auntie as his manager. In October of 2016, T Grizzly was released from a 9-month prison sentence for robbery and wanted to start a rap career. During his time behind bars, he wrote a song called First Day Out, which he hoped to release as a song. And Jobina Brown was one of the few family members who believed in him.
Because when I first came home, I had asked a lot of people in my family for a chance, because that's what I was really trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, can y'all help buy me a beat? I really want to rap, you know what I'm saying? A lot of them just wouldn't take me serious. Like, you better go get a job. What you trying to rap for and all this other stuff.
Right. And she believed him.
She believed him. She was the only one. That first day out video, she paid for the video, bought the outfit I had on the video, everything.
He then explained what happened on that fateful night. After recording at the studio, T Grizzly went to visit his cousin's house. In 2012, when T Grizzly was roughly 18 years of age, his father was murdered. So he went to visit a cousin who knew his father well.
I'm going over my cousin's house, my older cousin. He was real close with my pops, just like my pop's brother. And I always try to, you know what I'm saying, show him some love, because that's another wound we really ain't healed from.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I went over there, and I was telling her, like, come in the house. And she like, no, I don't want to go in. I'm begging her to come in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and that's where things get a bit unusual. Jobina was apparently a real neat freak to the extent that she would not go inside a home if she knew that it was going to be untidy.
Because JB was kind of like funny acting about dirty houses. Okay. Stuff like that. The house wasn't even dirty, but to her, she just a clean, real clean person.
T Grizzly called to his cousin's home, and his other aunt let him in. Then gunshots were heard.
My people's taking so long to come to the door. You know what I'm saying?
So if she would have went inside the crib, she would have got shot.
As soon as I see my auntie, she about to open the door, hear a whole bunch of shots going off. You know what I'm saying? Behind you.
That's rule number one. Don't be a bougie ass motherfucker, man.
So I get down because I'm thinking they about to come to the side and start,
you better go somewhere
shooting at me, and I ain't got nothing on me at the time. My cousin ran out with a gun. I'm like, perfect. So we ran out on the street. When we ran out, my driver was gone. Wasn't no cars out there.
However, Jobina was miraculously still alive and was driven to the hospital.
She was still breathing and everything. She called me. She called you while she was shot. She called me. What'd she say? I was trying to talk to her. I didn't hear what she was saying. Oh, she couldn't really form no words. You know what I'm saying? But, like, it was coming for me because they opened my door. Okay. And shooting in the car. They hit her 8 times, though.
And just like in the song, T Grizzly claimed that someone was after him.
So don't nobody really know me personally. I don't know none of these niggas personally. So you can't have no personal problem with me. You feel me? So what other reason is it to not like me besides what I got going on? That's the way I feel about it.
In 2020, Michigan Crime Stoppers announced a $2,500 reward for any information.
$2,500.
On the whole, life would simply move on. T Grizzly continued rapping, and in 2023, he got married.
It's been a $10,000
reward
police
had managed to arrest the suspect.
Know.
And because of who this person was
and
who they were associated with, rumors began to spread like wildfire. This is a rumor that had spread around in circles in Detroit for years, but in 2025, when the trial finally started, the rumors started to reignite on social media. Sadly, this trial has not been televised, but one Michigan YouTuber who was physically present in the courtroom had some pretty fascinating information to share. The YouTube channel The Family broke down who they believed the killer was. It was initially assumed that the hit was made by some gang member from Detroit. Instead, the alleged murderer was a man named Jermaine Whedon. Whedon, rather interestingly, is from Chicago and lives in Chicago, and he was arrested as early on as 2019. This video screenshotted court reports laying out why he was a suspect. He had been carrying a Glock 23 40 caliber and was driving a stolen blue Nissan Versa. The shooter of Jobina Brown drove the exact same car and had the exact same weapon. By February 2020, ballistics experts confirmed that Whedon's Glock 23 was the same firearm used during the murder of Jobina. So, if this person was responsible, who was Jermaine Whedon? Well, this is where things get really interesting. Whedon also goes by the name Wu Thang and is allegedly part of the Chicago Gang 600. Fans of T Grizzly were shocked by this because, despite being from Detroit, T Grizzly is closely tied to this gang. 600, as many people know, is affiliated with OTF, which is owned by Lil Durk, Only the Family. Lil Durk and T Grizzly did their own 2017 mixtape together called Blooders. So you'd think that when a member of 600 had been charged with the murder of his aunt, T Grizzly would start to distance himself from this gang. Well, during his 2023 wedding, one of the groomsmen was the rapper Buka 600. On the 2024 song with Hood Bocce, Grizzly performed a song with OTF rapper Duty Low and literally shouted out OTF. This video by The Family also found something suspicious, which suggests that Wu Thang was not a lone wolf in this crime and there were other people involved.
And for some reason, when this case has started back up for trial, they released a $2,500 reward again, as if the guy they caught with all this evidence isn't enough. No one wants to go a reward again, as if the guy they caught with all this evidence isn't enough, or not the sole person responsible.
By now, you're probably eager to find out why T Grizzly would ever want to kill his own aunt. Well, attached to the rumor that he killed his aunt was the speculation that they did not have the normal auntie-nephew relationship. First of all, T Grizzly was signed to her, and there might have been some sort of financial disagreement between them. However, there's a much more salacious allegation, and this is where the conspiracy gets much wilder. Jobina was not Grizzly's biological aunt. She was his aunt by marriage, and it was alleged that Jobina and Grizzly were romantically involved, and he got her pregnant. This is a very sensitive rumor to even bring up, but the person behind this YouTube channel was apparently at the trial and claims that this was not a mere rumor whispered in the dark corners of the web, but something that was being talked about in the courtroom.
That rumor that's floating around that T Grizzly got his alleged aunt pregnant, the state believes that. Not the family TV, not Reddit, the state.
The family has not posted another video since then, but this video did motivate another YouTuber to look even deeper into this case. And once again, these incredibly wild conspiracies start to become slightly more plausible. Flocko, who's a much more established name in hip-hop commentary than the family, has basically taken on the reins from this video from the family and looked into the case even deeper. In his first video on T Grizzly, Flocko poked holes in the original story. One of the biggest mysteries is that if the murderer was following him, they must have seen him get out of the car and into the house.
So if they were trailing them close enough to where they were able to get to the crib or get to the vehicle while T Grizzly was still at the door, then wouldn't they just be able to see where T Grizzly went and follow him?
And this was not a drive-by either, where bullets were simply
They
aimed
ran
at the
to
vehicle.
the damn
They
car.
was looking for someone.
Yeah, they ran to
And
the
that's
with
why
the
they
Draco.
went to the vehicle, opened up the vehicle, looked to see who's in the vehicle,
And still shot.
began shooting that person on that side. That's why the driver wasn't hit and he was the only other person in the vehicle, but that's why he wasn't hit.
There's also some interesting information from Wu-Tang's cell phone. He had not pulled up on the vehicle, but had been waiting for them to arrive.
The cell phone towers pinged Wu-Tang's cell phone at the murder scene for more than an hour and 56 minutes. So it started pinging around 7 p.m. and continued pinging until 8:56 p.m., which is minutes before the shooting occurred. That means that Wu-Tang was at the murder scene for an hour and 56 minutes.
So here we have a number of questions.
That shit
What was a guy
wild.
from Chicago waiting around in this certain area from Detroit? As many people know, this is a 4-hour drive. It's unlikely that you would do this trip without a specific reason in mind. And if this was supposedly someone who hated T Grizzly, how did they know to wait outside his cousin's house for an
And why they
impromptu
just
visit?
let the cousin
By
when
now,
he
T
got out
Grizzly was not
before the
oblivious to
cousin?
all the rumors circulating around, so he decided to break
Maybe he
his
wanted to
silence.
get the
I just
cousin.
ain't just about to go around trying to clear
Look
up
at
shit because it is what it
motherfucking
is. As far as like, you know, I ain't gonna be. Certain shit you can't entertain, bro. Especially when it's
The King Von
absolutely
situation.
nonsense. You know what I'm saying? But you do got a lot of motherfuckers
Look.
that go to the internet and think that everything they see on that is
Oh.
facts. It's not a place for facts.
Yo, it's Quando
They in your
Rondo.
face, Chet.
When they shot at Quando Rondo, they didn't kill Quando Rondo, they killed his cousin. You know what I'm saying? So,
Internet.
I don't know. It's the same type of people. I ain't
Also
gonna
wait
care.
and question the conspiracy theories.
If it's your auntie and you want her dead that much, why even get in the vehicle with her? You're the prime suspect, my guy. You know, so I know people wanted to hey, he did it. The facts of the case actually don't really support that. But I understand why people would drum that up because, T Grizzly himself, he plays like GTA RP. People actually think life is like GTA RP, where it's just really so black and white. Where it's like, yo, if his auntie died, we gotta be him. He's the main character.
Flocko released a second video and looked through the
Facts, nigga.
indictment, which confirmed the phone records that the shooter had been waiting around
Oh,
for
T
an
Grizzly
hour.
got the biggest name?
He also
Yeah,
shared
he did
2
it.
photos
Oh,
where Buka
oh, T
600
Grizzly
as
famous,
groomsmen
he
at
rich
T
now.
Grizzly's
Oh, yeah, he
wedding,
did it.
and other Buka 600 and other 600 members,
Shit's
including
stupid.
Wu-Tang. So there's essentially 1 degree of separation between T Grizzly's groomsmen and the person who killed his auntie. It would be almost impossible to stay friends with someone who shot your auntie. It would also be incredibly
They knew
difficult to
him.
be friends with someone who
Damn.
remained friends with the person who shot your auntie. It's unclear when the photo with Buka 600 and Wu-Tang was taken, though. These videos from Poetic Flocko and the family prompted Whack 100 to get involved, but Whack 100 was in a unique situation where he knew Jobina and even went to the funeral.
He know everybody. Fuck.
One of the things Whack 100 wanted to set straight was T Grizzly's casual demeanor when talking about the tragic murder of his aunt, what really added fuel to the conspiracy theories that he was breezily playing video games while talking about the brutal murder of his auntie.
The T Grizzly I've already known, he's a real nonchalant, stone-faced type of dude. You know what I'm saying? And if you hear some of his interviews, he tells you that a lot of things he went through as a child affected how he is today as an adult. So I know a lot of y'all be like, yo, he don't really show no emotions. You know, he's kind of like straight, plain face. He's playing the video game. He's really not making eye contact.
He also claimed that it could be very likely that the shooter didn't know what he was doing.
We could have had a nervous dude that opened the car door
and thought it was T Grizzly anyway and was shot. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Or we had a dude open the car door and identify who was in the car, then open fire.
However, Whack 100 then gave the highly implausible reason that the shooter could have mistaken Jobina for T Grizzly.
Now, T Grizzly's a big dude. JB's not as big as T Grizzly, but she's not a petite woman as well. JB usually wears long hair. You know, you wouldn't mistaken her for T Grizzly.
That's what I'm thinking. They like, damn, T Grizzly gone. He went to Cribbo. See, let's take his cousin out. Fuck it. Somebody gotta get hit. If I wait for that nigga now.
It's like opening the door is an identifier. See, walking up on the car and just discharging your firearm is like you just think somebody in the car. You don't know who. But open up the door is an identifier.
A much more compelling point brought by Whack is that just because someone is from the same gang as you or from the same neighborhood doesn't automatically mean that you are good friends.
Just because they from the same hood, same city, same clique, doesn't mean that they're cool, right? A lot of us are from a neighborhood. Half the neighborhood love you, the other half of the neighborhood can't stand you. That's the story of my life, right?
He then said that gang members will work as hitmen and will shoot someone as purely a business decision. On top of that, the motive that there was some sort of financial dispute between Grizzly and Jobina is complicated by the fact that Jobina was a really good manager and was also doing very well with the rapper Sada Baby.
I've never heard of JB and T Grizzly falling out behind royalties, behind masters, and usually that's what happens. Like, it's usually a fallout. People go their ways. JB could have. Sada Baby was on fire at the time. Sada Baby was hot as a firecracker at the time. She could have just put all her time and interest in the Sada Baby. She got him a deal out of Sada Records.
So she did Sada Baby 3?
One thing Whack could have also mentioned too is how the stigma of snitching could be clouding the information that's coming through. T Grizzly could be giving his account because he doesn't want to be seen as incriminating other people. You also have the possibility that Wu-Tang was caught with the weapon and car but refused to snitch on the person he received those items from. Whack 100 was ultimately curious about jumping to any conclusions, but Plott then released a video where he had gathered information, concluded that it was not.
They were trying to get niggas
he had gathered information, concluded that it was not looking good for T Grizzly.
I don't know.
My sources told me, and when I say sources, understand this when I tell you this. I'm not talking about hearsay. I'm not talking about associates. I'm talking.
Get your big goofy ass, long torpedo neck, fat pinball head ass, jumbo size, extra large pants, big Superman built, jumbo wobble fed pants.
Tell you something in this video. Understand?
Yo, goofball head ass.
The person I heard it from was in the room when it happened.
In this video, Flacco shared pretty shocking information that the police allegedly knew that Grizzly had killed his aunt and just needed to prove it.
Your goofy ass on, tell us the shit, bitch.
I was told the police chief looked T Grizzly in his eyes and told him, I know you involved somehow. I'm gonna get down to the bottom of this.
Damn.
The police chief thought this. The police chief thought that T Grizzly was involved somehow. They just couldn't prove it.
The police chief went further and told Jobina's family that they knew it was him.
The police chief told Jobina Brown's sister and Jobina Brown's mother that they believe that T Grizzly is involved somehow. Now, T Grizzly became a suspect almost initially because the police chief discovered, so T Grizzly's uncle was married to Jobina Brown. The uncle went to jail 3 months before her death. Within those 3 months, T Grizzly began an intimate relationship with Jobina Brown.
And then Flacco dropped the biggest bombshell of all.
Really
the allegation that T Grizzly killed his aunt was even mentioned in court. And this rumor did not come from the prosecution, but from the defense.
The defense attorney, who is responsible for getting Wu-Tang
y'all should have read in the Bible.
He came to court and he says, listen,
they said if your brother's sister died, nigga, you go in and take your brother's sister wife.
Brown. He said
take
that
on responsibilities.
In court, the transcripts will prove it. And he also said that he did it because Jobina Brown was pregnant.
The most important witness of all
so
was
they killed her in the baby? Most definitely she was pregnant.
His testimony was pretty interesting.
The driver who was in the vehicle when Jobina Brown was shot and killed, he testified that the shooting took place 45 seconds from when T Grizzly got out the vehicle. What that shows is T Grizzly was on that porch. That shows that there's a high likelihood that the shooters seen T Grizzly.
And one of the most damning aspects of all is that members of Jobina's family have been suspicious of T Grizzly since this case.
The family has been suspicious of T Grizzly because he continued to hang with the people that the family believe is responsible for the aunt's death. If Wu-Tang, aka Wu 600, is from 600, and T Grizzly groomsman in his wedding last year was Buka 600, the family is like, come on, man. We not born yesterday, yo. If the hit was for you, then why you still hanging out with those people?
Black 100
so he had to pay that nigga off.
He said, shit, I'm used to this.
Why you be that stupid
to the son of Jobina Brown, he was shockingly more compelled by these conspiracy theories.
I guess it's like the Penguin or something. You know how the Riddler and shit, you gotta leave
on this podcast, Wack delivered a bombshell that pretty much confirms one of Flacco's claims. When speaking with Jobina's son, he told Wack,
said, man, I know my mom used to call you a lot to help her on whatever. The best said, yeah, that's about my own girl. He said, well, I'm going to let you know I'm coming so you ain't got to handle me with soft gloves. And I said, I know T Grizzly and my mama was sexually involved, romantically involved.
He then verified Flacco's claim about the police sergeant.
Said I've been in court every day. He said, Wack, the mother, the head, the sergeant, whoever was running the police force, looked at T Grizzly when it happened and said, we know you had something to do with it and we're going to figure it out eventually.
He then also verified the story about the defense attorney making this claim in court.
That's crazy.
The defense attorney says in court, my client ain't did this murder. This is a murder for hire that was laid on my
wild in a bitch.
Wack 100 is right that the defense attorney bringing this up is a big deal. However, lawyers in the U.S. have something called attorney-client privilege, which basically gives them an absolute right to free speech as long as it has something to do with the case. It's a very unlikely that a lawyer will be taken to court for supposedly slanderous arguments made in a trial. So you can now add to the pile of potential theories the possibility that Wu-Tang's defense attorney has gotten so desperate that he's decided to repeat rumors he heard on the internet. Similar to the lawyers for the killers of XXXTentacion saying that they wanted to subpoena Drake because of the conspiracy theories that he put out the hit on X. And it's basically his job to muddy the waters and make sure his client isn't proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
And Wu-Tang is snitching and says
the son was Flacco's source.
Damn!
Where you get this info from,
nigga?
Who else gonna give him this?
Shit, he could have got it from Flacco.
Hell no.
Flacco, big jubby cheek face head ass. Water balloon cheek face ass.
At 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
And it's obviously quite damning for T Grizzly that Jobina's son is speaking to YouTubers alleging that he killed his own mother. Once again, you have the conclusion that it's not looking good for T Grizzly. And this mention of her son is a necessary reminder that as interesting as this case might be, there are real people's lives involved. The sad thing is that because of the complete mess of information surrounding this case, we might never get the proper answers, but hopefully justice will be served.
Man,
let's get fiscal.
Shout out to CG Media Hip Hop Chronicles. The Inside Crazy Life Grizzly come up robberies and death of his aunt. Rder. into this Crip
When
shit.
I hit that prison yard, I made a lot of plugs. They saw my paperwork, and I got a lot of
This shit getting crazy.
Cause I ain't never told on my niggas, dog. I ain't never froze with that pistol, dog. How many niggas can say that? Keep it real, nigga. How many niggas can say that? Be for real, nigga. I ain't scared to hit that road and go get it, dog. If I put it in my song, then I live it, dog. How many niggas can say that? Keep it real with yourself. How many niggas can say that? Just keep it real.
In the heart of Detroit, a city known for its grit and resilience, a young man emerged from the shadows, turning his struggles into powerful lyrics that would resonate far beyond the streets he once walked. His journey is not just about music, it's about survival, transformation, and the relentless pursuit of a dream. From a prison cell to platinum-selling records, this rapper's life has been a roller coaster of highs and lows, each twist more shocking than the last. But what exactly happened during his darkest days? And how did he rise from the brink of despair to become one of the most influential voices in hip-hop today? Stay tuned, because the truth behind his success story is more unexpected than you might think. Imagine growing up in a place where every day feels like a battle. Well, that was life for T. Grizzly, born Terry Sanchez Wallace Jr. in the unforgiving streets of Detroit. His story is one of strength, shaped by the harsh realities of his early years. T's childhood was marked by the absence of stability. Both his mother and father were frequently in and out of prison, a cycle that left him under the care of his grandmother. This family dynamic was more than just a living arrangement. It was a survival strategy. She became his anchor and his guiding light amidst the chaos. But even her love couldn't shield him entirely from the harshness of his environment. The blacktop of the D weren't just home. They were a lesson in endurance. Here, he learned about the struggles of life. Not from books, but from the raw, unfiltered experiences around him. The constant noise of the city, the uncertainty of each day, and the ever-present shadow of incarceration made an unforgettable mark on his young mind. But rather than breaking him, these struggles became the fuel that powered his dreams. It was in this crucible of hardship that he found his voice, a voice that would later roar through his music, resonating with those who understood the pain of growing up in similar circumstances. In school, T wasn't simply a product of his environment. He was a beacon of potential. He excelled academically, showing a natural affinity for learning. His grandmother's support gave him the courage to aim high, even when the odds were stacked against him. But the pull of the fast life and the need to survive often tested his resolve. The reality of Detroit's inner city is that they can be as much a teacher as a classroom. And for young Grizz, the streets taught survival, but it also introduced him to the world of crime. The absence of his parents meant that he had to grow up faster than most, navigating a world where each decision could mean the difference between freedom and incarceration. These early struggles shaped T. Grizzly's music. His lyrics reflect not just the pain and hardship, but also the triumph of overcoming life's darkest moments. Through his music, he doesn't just tell his story. He speaks for a generation that has faced similar battles. His rise from the scud zone to the stage is more than just a personal victory. It's a testament to the strength and grit that define him. Growing up in a world where the streets often decide your fate, he was determined to choose a different path. Amidst the chaos and challenges of his life, there was one thing that set him apart: a hunger for knowledge. It wasn't enough for him to just survive. He wanted to thrive, and education was his ticket out. He had a vision that stretched beyond the horizon of his circumstances. In 2013, he enrolled at Michigan State University, majoring in finance and accounting. For many, this might seem like a standard route, but for him, it was a bold step towards breaking the cycle that had ensnared his family. Engulfed by a place where the hood taught different lessons, he sought wisdom from textbooks, lectures, and the structures of academic life. Attending college wasn't just about getting a degree, however. It was about rewriting his story. He saw education as a way to escape the grip of poverty and crime that had claimed so many lives around him. His choice to study finance and accounting wasn't random. He understood the power of money and the importance of managing it. He dreamed of a life where he could use these skills to not only help himself, but also uplift those around him. But the road wasn't going to be easy. Despite his dedication, he faced immense financial pressures. The weight of his situation was never far behind, constantly reminding him of the struggle he was trying to escape. His time on campus was filled with moments of doubt, where the reality of his state of affairs clashed with his dreams of a brighter future. His lack of money was overwhelming. Unable to afford tuition and other expenses, Grizz found himself making choices that would eventually lead him down a path that he had hoped to avoid. The harsh reality of economic hardship forced him out of the classroom and back into the struggles of everyday survival. His dream of a college degree was put on hold, but the fire it ignited in him never dimmed. His pursuit of education was more than just a chapter in his life. It was a statement, a declaration that despite the obstacles and adversity, he would not be defined by his set of conditions. His time at the university may have been cut short, but it taught him lessons that went beyond what he was studying. It showed him the value of persistence, the importance of vision, and the power of knowledge. T. Grizzly's story is a powerful reminder that education is not just about books and degrees, it's about breaking barriers, redefining what's possible, and inspiring others to do the same. Even when the world seemed determined to keep him in a cycle of crime and poverty, his commitment to his education proved that sometimes the best way to beat the odds is to learn how to change the game. In 2014, life threw a curveball that would change his life forever. Despite his best efforts to escape the shadows of his past, the burden of tuition became too much to handle. Struggling to make ends meet, he made a decision that would alter his path. He turned to robbery. Along with a friend, he began a spree, targeting student dorms at the same school he was attending. It was a desperate move born out of necessity, and the consequences would be life-altering. T and his accomplices were caught and arrested, not only for the series of robberies, but for his infamous jewelry heist.
So boom, back into Kentucky. I'm like, right, man, let me get on point. You know what I'm saying? So this shit gonna be smooth. I walk in the jewelry store, they, why you got a hoodie on? Cause it's hot as fuck outside. They looking at me crazy, why you got a hoodie on? I'm like, well, I'm a boxer, and I gotta lose weight for this fighting shit. You know what I'm saying? So I just enjoy this shit with the hoodie. I'm like, right, bet, but I still watch it.
This nigga a gamer.
I pull the hammer out, like, see all the Rolex. Before I can even grab one of them bitches, I hear freeze. When I hear freeze, I know it's a gun involved. That's all I need to know. I got the hammer in my hand.
Oh, she got the hammer.
I'm like, damn, I should try this motherfucker. I turn around. I see a white guy, born and raised in the South. I'm like, oh, this nigga kill me. Let me go. Quit playing with him. I drop the hammer, get out.
This marked the beginning of a dark chapter in T. Grizzly's life. The legal system, a reality he'd known too well from his parents' experience, now had him in its grip. He was sentenced to 18 months to 15 years in prison, a harsh verdict that would keep him behind bars for the foreseeable future. Sitting in that cell, he was confronted with the stark reality of his choices: the cold walls, the iron bars. These weren't just physical barriers, they were a reminder of the life he wanted to leave behind. But amidst this darkness, something remarkable happened. He found his voice, not in the streets, but in the solitude of those four walls. He began to write. With nothing but time on his hands, he turned to music as an outlet for his pain, anger, and dreams. He scribbled down his thoughts, transforming his experiences into raw, honest lyrics. Each line he wrote was a piece of his story, a story that needed to be heard. He wasn't just writing songs, he was writing his way out of the darkness. It was during these moments that the seeds of his breakout hit, First Day Out, were sown. This song would later become a cult classic, recounting his journey from the depths of prison to the heights of musical success. His lyrics didn't just resonate, they struck a chord with those who understood the pain of feeling trapped, both literally and figuratively. In October of 2016, after serving nearly 3 years, he walked out of prison. He was a free man, but more importantly, he was a changed man. Prison had taken his freedom, but had given him a purpose. With his newfound resolve, he headed straight to the recording studio, ready to share his story with the world. His incarceration was more than just a punishment. It was a turning point. It was in the silence of his cell that he discovered his true calling. He realized that his voice had power, that his story could inspire, and that his music could be a beacon for others walking a similar path. From the depths of despair, he found his strength. His journey from prison to the stage was not just a personal triumph, it was proof that even in the darkest moments, you can find a light, one he wasted no time in letting shine. He had just walked out of the prison gates with a new outlook on life and a story burning inside of him. The ink had barely dried on his release papers before he headed straight to the studio. With a fierce determination, he recorded a track that would change everything. a track that was not just a song, but a declaration of survival and resilience. He poured his heart into every lyric, recounting his experiences behind bars, his thoughts, his fears, and the challenges that shaped him. The beat dropped, and with it, T unleashed a torrent of emotions. His voice carried the weight of his struggles, and his words rang with authenticity. When the track was released, it was like a lightning bolt striking the music scene. The video for the hit single came out on YouTube, and within days, it exploded. Viewers couldn't get enough of his powerful storytelling. The video went viral, amassing millions of views, and quickly catapulting him from a local artist to a national sensation. The streets of Detroit, which once echoed with his hardships, now echoed with the beat of his success. But this was more than just a viral moment. It was a breakthrough. The song captured the essence of T's journey, from the lowest lows to the highest highs. It resonated with fans who saw in him a reflection of their own struggles and triumphs. But the song wasn't just about his release from prison. It was about making the most of every day thereafter. Music critics took notice, praising his ability to recount hood tales and the raw energy of his delivery. It became an anthem, a hit you couldn't drive down the street without hearing. His unique flow and genuine lyrics stood out in an industry often criticized for its lack of originality. His tone was different, unpolished, real, and powerful. The rap world had found its new sound, and it was coming straight from the heart of Motown. But the impact of the track went beyond just numbers and charts. It marked the beginning of T Grizzly's mission to use his platform to inspire others. He showed that no matter how dire the circumstances, there's always a way to turn things around. His journey from prison to the top of the charts was living proof that redemption was possible, that dreams could be achieved, even if the odds were stacked against you. And just like that, he didn't just find his voice, he found his purpose. The song's success opened doors, leading to record deals, collaborations with big-name artists, and a career that continues to rise. It cemented his place in hip-hop as a motivator and a symbol of hope. His music was a mirror to his life, reflecting both the pain of the past and the promise of the future. After the explosive boom of First Day Out, he found himself in the spotlight. He wasn't just a rapper from his hometown anymore. He was a voice of the streets. His rise to fame had only just begun, and he was ready to make the most of it. The success of his debut single opened doors that once seemed impossible to walk through. He quickly followed up with a series of bangers that kept his momentum going. Songs like From the D to the A featuring Lil Yachty proved that he could hold his own alongside established artists. The tracks showed that he wasn't just a one-hit wonder. He was here to stay. The combination was a perfect blend of styles, with T's raw delivery complementing Yachty's playful energy. But the Detroit native's ambition didn't stop there. He went on to team up with some of the biggest names in hip-hop. Working with Meek Mill on Beef brought him into the orbit of another rapper who understood the struggles of life on the streets and the triumph of making it out. Their collab resonated with fans who appreciated the authenticity and grit that both artists brought to the track. His joint efforts with other prominent peers like Lil Durk and Chance the Rapper further solidified his place in the rap game. But these partnerships weren't just about making hits. They were about building connections and telling stories that many could relate to. His music became a bridge between different experiences, uniting listeners through shared struggles and victories. In May of 2018, he released his debut album, Activated. It was more than just a collection of songs, it was a statement. It showcased his growth as an artist, blending his raw, street-inspired sound with deeper reflections on his journey. Tracks like Colors and No Rap Cap showed his versatility, peaking at number 10 on the Billboard 200. T Grizzly was no longer just a breakout star. He was becoming a household name in the hip-hop community. Critics applauded Activated for its veracity and energy, noting how his unique voice stood out in a crowded industry. The album's success was a testament to his hard work and his ability to connect with audiences on a personal level. It was clear that he wasn't just riding the wave of his initial success. He was building a legacy. His rise to fame was fueled by more than just catchy hooks and powerful beats. It was his story, his realness, and his willingness to be vulnerable that set him apart. Every collaboration, every song, and every performance was a piece of his journey, shared with the world. He He had turned his life experiences into art, inspiring others to believe that they too could overcome their circumstances. His records with other known artists, mixed with the success of his first album, cemented his place in the rap industry. He wasn't simply writing his own book. He was becoming a part of the stories of others. From the streets of Joy Road to the stages of the world, he had risen to fame, and his voice echoed far beyond the walls that once confined him. However, success and fame can bring light to even the darkest of pasts, and for T, the shadows of personal devastation followed him closely, casting a long and heavy presence over his life and career. One night, a tragedy struck that would change his world forever. His Aunt JB, who was more than just family, she was his manager, mentor, and one of his biggest supporters. She believed in his vision, guided his career, and stood by him through thick and thin. She was a pillar of strength in his life, a source of love and stability in a world that often seemed chaotic and unforgiving. In August of 2019, his life was shattered by a single moment of violence. While driving through Detroit, he, his aunt, and a friend were ambushed. Gunshots rang out, and in the chaos, his beloved aunt was tragically shot and killed. She died on the scene, leaving him heartbroken and devastated. It was a cruel reminder of the harsh reality that still loomed over his life, no matter how far he had come. Her death hit him hard, plunging him into a deep sense of grief and loss. It was another cruel reminder of the violence that had surrounded him from a young age, the same violence he had tried to escape through his rise to success. Just like he had always done, he channeled his pain into his music, turning his heartbreak into a powerful source of expression. His lyrics took on a deeper, more emotional tone, reflecting the heavy burden he now carried. Songs like Satish captured the raw emotion and grief that he felt, with him rapping about the pain of losing his aunt and the anger that came with it. It was a stark and poignant reflection of his reality, drawing fans closer to the man behind the music. T. Grizzly's verses had always been a reflection of his life, full of the struggle, triumph, and the harsh realities of growing up in Detroit. But now, with the loss of JB, his music carried the weight of deep personal tragedy. Each song became a tribute to his aunt, a way to keep her memory alive and a means to process his grief. His ability to transform his pain into powerful lyrics resonated with many who had experienced similar losses. His music became not just a means of expression, but a source of healing for himself and his listeners. Through his art, he honored her memory, ensuring that her legacy would continue to live on, not just in his heart, but in the hearts of all who listened. T. Grizzly's story is more than just a tale of personal accomplishments. It's a testament to the power of belief and staying true to oneself. His sound, raw and unfiltered, has become a voice for many who grew up in similar circumstances, surrounded by hardship, but still clinging to hope. From the beginning, his lyrics struck a chord with listeners. He didn't just rap about the glamorous side of life or material gains, he painted a picture of reality. His songs spoke of the struggles and dangers of growing up in any hood in America, any ghetto with a reputation for its gritty nature and survival of the fittest mentality. Through his music, he captured the fear, the pain, and the drive to escape the cycle of violence and poverty that so many face on a daily basis. With First Day Out, he burst onto the scene, but it was his continued honesty and relatability that kept him there. Each song was a chapter of his life, a narrative that many found deeply relatable. Tracks like Satish showed a man grappling with the loss and sorrow that come with violent realities, while other songs like Locked Up and No Effort portrayed the raw, unvarnished truth of the street life. These were not just records, they were stories, resonating with people who had faced similar battles. His impact reaches far beyond the beats and the rhymes. He has given a voice to the voiceless, turning his personal hardships into a platform that speaks for countless others who have faced similar struggles. He proved that even those who come from the most challenging of circumstances can find success and create change. His legacy isn't just about music, it's about the message. His work reminds us that no matter where you start, your past doesn't have to define your future. He showed that with determination, talent, and a refusal to give up, you can rise above your circumstances. His lyrics have become anthems for those who strive to overcome, to make something of themselves against all odds. As he continues to evolve as an artist, his impact only grows stronger. He's not just a rapper, he's a gamer, a survivor, and a difference maker. He has successfully expanded his influence beyond music, carving out a niche for himself in the gaming world. His charismatic personality and engaging content quickly caught wind with viewers. He used his platform to merge the worlds of gaming and music. His success in GTA showcases his versatility and ability to connect with diverse audiences, proving that his talents extend far beyond the recording studio. His journey from the streets of the Scud Zone to the top of the music charts is a reminder of the power of being yourself, no matter what. In a world where so much is filtered and fabricated, he remains real. His music will continue to inspire, to motivate, and to give hope to those who need it most. His legacy is one of strength, perseverance, and the unbreakable spirit of someone who refuses to be defined by his past. He hasn't simply changed the rap game, he's changed lives all around the world. His story is proof of overcoming the odds. His journey inspires many, proving that with hard work and dedication, it's possible to rise above even the toughest of circumstances.
Alright, back. So yeah, man, I feel like, man, T Grizzly done a lot that, you know, that goes unnoticed. You know what I'm saying? As far as his rapping skills. You know, a lot of people only know T Grizzly for his first day out song and all that shit, and LeBron singing over it. But like T Grizzly got some bangers. You know what I'm saying? I got one song that he does with YNW Millie that go hard in a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, a lot of people don't know who T Grizzly is, to be honest. Not like don't know who he is, but they know the person who he is. Because everybody know he's rapping and shit. You know, hopefully they watching a rap channel. But man, I don't know. If they try to charge this nigga, man, because people are snitching on him, man, they can be looking at a Rico. They can be giving that nigga like 20 years life. You know what I'm saying? Over this type of shit, because it's like a hit. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're trying to hit Dirk with. And I'm surprised that they got people from OTL in the damn shit allegedly be doing this shit. So I don't know, bruh. I think T Grizzly was skating by and he got a little too comfortable. And now people are talking about this shit. I don't know. Hopefully he beat the system and he continue to be successful. This shit getting tough out here on the streets. Make sure you like, subscribe, we out this bitch. Hood, Northside, big crip in the gang, Northside shit. Out this bitch.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. You know this instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.